I'm Allie. I came out after 20 years of marriage and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melissa and I have 2 kids and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles.
I have lost some weight lately.
I was just going to say, welcome to the Lesbian Chronicles.
Should we include that?
You've lost weight because you're eating that disgusting,
I've lost weight because I eat egg whites and cottage cheese for lunch almost every day.
Do you know, I like cottage cheese, but eggs now, skeeve me out so much.
I was wondering if you eat eggs since you are vegetarian, but
don't.
You seem more of like a flexitarian, but...
I'm a flexitarian. That's flexitarian sounds like I can't commit.
That's
fish.
kind of where I'm at.
I eat fish, but I don't like it. I don't eat eggs unless I'm forced to. And the rest of it, I don't eat meat.
See, I kind of shifted 3 months ago where I stopped really eating red meat, stopped making meat at home also.
Yeah.
And so but I still have dairy and egg whites.
Yeah.
But I've lost a few pounds from it. Not that I was in need of really losing weight, but I mean, as you get older, you want to tighten things up a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's high protein. It's really good. I do nuts all day. I'm constantly eating nuts, but I don't eat eggs because there's something about the smell. Maria cooks them probably every day for someone, scrambled eggs or eggs. And the smell in our house has gotten to where it nauseates me.
I could smell it when I came back in just now.
I don't like it.
I was I need to light a candle.
Yeah, it's so
My house smells like eggs. I don't think it's not so much the smell. I don't know. I've always liked eggs. I shouldn't say always. I used to hate eggs because my mom used to cook them so much, so overly cooked, that the only way I could eat it was with ketchup all over it.
Okay.
And then I realized oh no, my mom just cooks everything way too long. Same thing with steak. I thought I didn't like steak because my mom cooks it well done.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I live with somebody who's a great cook. She happens to love eggs and I don't.
Maria is a really good cook.
She's a really good cook. I would say she could have it's hard for me to even go to restaurants because if I order something that I know she makes, it's always better. She makes corn better. She makes enchiladas better.
When you said corn, because that was the first thing that came to mind was that she makes really good corn.
She makes the best sashimi tuna, with soy sauce. Everything she makes is she goes to the farmer's market. She spends hours preparing it. It is better than a restaurant. So then it's you go to the restaurant and you're why are we at the restaurant when this is better at home?
It's very true. Very true.
But yeah, I've learned a few things too. Do you know what I'm the best at? And the kids will tell you is
what?
And she tries to do it, and it's not
making
as good.
Cereal.
No, it's grilled cheese.
Oh, okay.
Grilled cheese is my fucking thing. I know
what's
exactly how to do
the secret? What do you do to stand apart?
White mountain bread. A shit ton of butter. Don't be fucking around with the butter. Don't do that. And we get the butter from the Oakhurst Market, which is this really good butter.
Okay.
And then cheddar cheese and a lot of it. Maria will do really chintzy with the cheese and barely any butter. The kids are what is this? Mine is it could be at a restaurant.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
I love White Mountain bread. That stuff's so good.
It's so good. What are you known for?
Ooh, I mean, I kind of shift around. I used to make sushi a lot.
Yeah.
I do really make a good salmon.
Okay.
But it's super basic. I just make it in the air fryer, so it tastes better that way. And lately I've been making vegan potato and kale soup, and that's really good.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I would love that.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Well, how can we make vegan and kale soup gay?
I mean, that's pretty gay if you think about it,
It is. You know how I went out this weekend?
Uh-huh.
And we went, do you know that the wine fest or the wine?
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of fell off the earth for a while there. I was thinking this wine fest must have gone really well.
It went really well. For me to stay out and be in it is a lot. But it was such a fucking blast. They had a fur bus taking people from one part of the event to another part of the event,
Oh my God, that
playing
sounds
like
dangerous.
fun music. I ended up having such a good time, and I like stayed out and did the thing, which I never
That's
do.
awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, highly recommend the Oakhurst Wine Crawl for anyone next year.
So it just takes a little bit of wine to keep you out.
It just takes a little bit of wine. And actually, I ended up switching to beer. I would just walk into a bar and get a beer and not drink the wine because I knew I was going to be so sick. But
Yeah,
it was really, really fun. We had a great time.
that's awesome.
Dr.
I hate
Jamie
that I
was
missed
out.
it, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
We had the whole crew out there, but we were
I
missing
haven't
you.
seen Jamie in a while. She wasn't at Second Friday.
Yeah, I think she's just new into her new place that she got, which is kick-ass. So I think she's, you're excited about your new place. You don't want to go anywhere. But what's really funny is they had an Airstream. So it's in Oakhurst, but across the street from Jamie's brand new place that she moved into, they had an Airstream that was a DJ. So playing like disco music. It was like a disco Airstream. And so we took the fur bus from one part of Oakhurst to the other part of Oakhurst. And we land at Jamie's and realize that's the second location. It's basically Jamie's front yard. So we're just like dancing with this DJ Airstream and had a private bathroom at Jamie's kick-ass new place.
I love it.
It's like having VIP.
I'm just now remembering I went to Second Friday and it was at church.
Oh, yeah. In East Atlanta.
In Edgewood.
Edgewood, yeah.
And it was fun. It was just very cramped. Like there was a lot of people in there. And if you've been in Sister Luisa's, it wasn't in their like main area. It was in a separate area.
Okay.
But we still had like the downstairs and upstairs, the whole thing. And it was a lot of fun.
It started early, right?
Yeah, it started at 7, but it was pouring down rain. So I think that kept a lot of people home. But yeah, next month it's going to be back at Westside Motor Lodge. So
did the 7 o'clock though draw out the kind of what we're talking about today, but did it draw out the older crowd?
Not really. And I started thinking
I got to give it another chance because the rain.
I think the rain was a big factor because I was like, the same people who don't want to go out because it's too late will absolutely stay home because it's raining.
I know. I'm trying to think if I'm one of those people. Damn it.
I think you are.
I think I might be. I'm a very convenience person. But the other problem for me is Friday nights are like I hate, like sometimes we had plans this Friday night or I would have maybe gone, but I don't like to have plans on Friday night. Like I
get that.
Yeah, I want to just like get home, put my sweats on.
And a lot of the time I don't work on Fridays. So
for you, it's a weekend.
It's like I've been able to like play catch up that day and feel good about hanging out. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I miss seeing you. The whole time at the wine thing, I was like, I wanted you there. Like you would have had so much fun.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, I think how I can segue this is that we were talking about how Second Friday was going to have some events that start earlier to try to get people like me who don't like to stay out late to come. And that leads us to talk about the over 50 set. I'm not over 50 yet. But let's talk about the over 50 set and kind of what we're both noticing. I
have noticed, and this is through our emails on Lesbian Chronicles, this is through meeting people. And I feel like there's such a commonality of people who are over 50, let's make that the generalization, that are just like, there's no one for me. I don't want to be doing the dating apps. Like I'm too old for this kind of stuff. And I'm just kind of like content with being out and not dating. Right.
Yeah.
But I realized I'm like, if everybody has this mindset, then of course there's no one out there.
Yeah, right. If you guys would all get together, you would realize there's a shit ton of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's plenty.
Right.
I mean, I would say it's like an equal number of people that I'm meeting that are in their 30s and 40s compared to people who are in their 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
And
would you say that's true? Equal number?
I would say it's close to equal.
Yeah.
Maybe like, 60-40 kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's pretty close. And I think it's discouraging for people, though. I will admit, I think when you first get on the apps, and maybe the older crowd too doesn't quite know how to navigate the apps so that they know how to set the age range. So when you sign up for the apps, they ask you a lot of questions, but sometimes that's not like the easiest thing to navigate of like what you want your age range to be in. I've done that before, or I've been on an app and then all of a sudden there's like 24-year-olds showing up. And I'm like, God, no, like I don't want
Yeah, it's like
this.
my daughter.
Yeah. So it's like if you set your age range to what you want and maybe broaden your location a little bit too, because I find the older people, a lot of them live outside of the city, they've lived that life of the city life. They now want to like live a quieter life. And I think you'll find that there are a lot of people out there your age. You just got to kind of shift through or find a way to shift through the younger crowd.
Yeah, or
And
like
put
you
yourself
said,
there.
set your parameters to not even show you those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with you because I don't, I mean, I'm not finger on the pulse the way that you are, but I am out in life, in business, in, daily life. And I see, you're right, that it's like my friends that are over 50 that are single are kind of like, there's no one out there. I'd rather just have a quiet dinner with you and go home at 7:30 or 8. And I'm always thinking, yeah, but there's 10 other people who just told me the same thing. What if you
Exactly.
guys we all, including me, like we all just like did stuff after the fact? There's a lot of us. I met someone so randomly the other day when I was looking at a house, and it was a realtor over 50 who we had a shit ton in common. And I thought, she's single out there. Likely there's a million women who would love to meet her.
Yeah. And you got to think about too, there are people that are like coming out of relationships around that age and like newly getting into the dating pool. It's constantly this like shifting thing
Yeah.
of like people getting in and out of relationships. And,
And maybe
you know,
you
if,
and I feel so much more positive because we talk to so many guests and we get so many emails from people that want to come on that are older and that are trying to meet people. I think about even like Allie, who's been on the show a bunch. Like there's, for every Allie that we actually talk to, there's 50 that we don't, that are single and looking. Now, I don't know whether she's still single, but I mean, what I'm saying is they're out there. There's so many. You're 100% right.
and I think the other thing too is like we get set in that way, the way of being single and being independent and then really enjoying those things, like you said, like having a quiet dinner at home with just a friend or alone.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you think you're going to lose that by
Yeah.
being in a relationship.
Right.
The way that we navigate relationships, 95% of the population navigates relationships, is extremely codependent.
It's true.
And you think like, okay, like I kind of like being alone. I like being with myself. I'd rather have that than be in a relationship. But it's like you can find a way to balance those things.
Right. And more people are in long-term relationships that don't live together. Like
Right.
that was something Jamie and I talked about this weekend. It's like it's becoming pretty commonplace, she said, as a therapist even. She's a psychologist. She's like, I can't tell you how popular it's getting for couples to stay together and not live together. So they maintain their autonomy. They, do what they want to do, but they're in a committed relationship. So they've got that person maybe to show up at the event with, but they're free to do their week the way that they want to do their week, especially when you have kids, because it's like you do have, like, I maintain a schedule that's very different from my partner's schedule. I have kids going to different places. I have games at different times. I have different parents. There's a lot that I have to do that doesn't necessarily involve her.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I think your partner you have to get to a place of like communication with your partner in that sense, like of saying like, this is how I would like for things to look. And just because I'm doing something without you doesn't mean that like I'm leaving you,
No. Yeah.
like, let's not jump to that conclusion. But I will say though, like the whole, like taking living together off the table is a very like
New.
privileged thing to be able to do.
Right.
Like when you think about cost of, mortgages, rent, all that stuff. And I've been saying the past, like 6 months that I don't want to live with anyone. Well, my mortgage just went up by $900. So now I'm
900?
like, who wants to move in?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow. Okay.
Let this be a lesson to those who are buying a new built home that the first year your property is valuated for the land. And then the next year it includes the house. And
Yeah.
so you have to not only put more money in escrow, you also have to like back pay to escrow.
Oh my gosh. I won't even tell you then the opposite thing happened with me, but I won't even go into that.
Oh, I'm sick to my stomach about it. I'm trying not to freak out.
Yeah,
but
don't
I'm trying
freak
to
out.
find
Don't freak out. And I always look at real estate as an asset. So you have an asset that you're investing in. It's not the same as like if you had a boat or
I'm
an
just
RV.
house poor.
Well, that's okay. I'd rather be house poor than boat poor.
I'm gonna have to learn how to mow my own lawn.
That's okay. You can do that. I remember when I was married, I liked mowing the lawn. Like I liked the smell of it, and I just enjoyed it. Like it felt good out there. I would sometimes like wear my bikini top and get sun.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding. I was way into it. And Chris used to get so mad because he's like, dude, like the neighbors are going to think I'm such a fucking dick that you're doing
like he's making you get up there and mow it in a bikini.
But I liked it. Like it smelled good to me. And I didn't do it all the time, but like occasionally I would be like, if we were having people over and our guy hadn't come, I might like fire up and do it. And
oh my God,
he would be
when
like,
I
I wish you
in
wouldn't
North
do
Carolina, in Greensboro, North Carolina, our neighbor there a single mom used to mow her lawn with just a bikini on and tennis shoes. And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, either this lady is a genius and she just really wants to like work on her suntan and like, you know, be cooled off while she mows the lawn, or she's trying to entice the men in the neighborhood.
I definitely wasn't trying to entice the men. I literally was trying to get sun. I would have shorts on. I mean, I didn't always do it like that, but sometimes I would wear workout clothes
with tennis shoes. So it's like, you know how like a little kid looks when they're wearing like just a diaper?
Yeah.
Like, that's what it reminded me
of.
of.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God. No, mine was not quite that situation. And our house was right on Briarcliff. Do you know where Briarcliff? Like in the Highland, like basically like in a very highly trafficked area.
Oh my God. There's probably people who were like, where'd that lady go that used to
Where'd that
mow
weirdo go?
her bikini?
I mean, can we retract that from the record?
No, I think it's a great story.
Now that I'm saying it out loud.
What's even better is I just thought about that story the other day. Because I was thinking about how I'm going to have to start mowing my lawn. And I'm like, I'm going to be like that lady that I used to laugh at in North Carolina.
It's not a big deal. Go out there and cut the grass. What the fuck?
I mean, it makes sense to wear a bikini.
Right.
Or at least some like light clothing, I guess.
When we got our house together, the house came with this like riding red like tractor lawnmower. Mm-hmm. And Maria was like very excited about the lawnmower. But then she ended up like maybe doing it one time and then never did it again.
Oh.
But I remember that being like a thing where she was like, I'm going to do it. It's going to be so fun. I'm going to ride the lawnmower.
I also have a fear of lawnmowers because like, I guess technology's improved now, but back in like the 90s, I knew two people that lost appendages from lawnmowers. Yeah.
Oh my God.
My uncle lost a toe, and one of my friends in middle school, his mom, single mom again, mowing the lawn, lost a finger.
Really? I mowed our grass when I was a kid, always.
Really?
Yeah.
No, man.
My parents weren't too worried about me.
I know that now they have like automatic shut off and all that stuff, but ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you could do that. You can do the pest control. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. So,
or if someone just wants to Venmo me $900, that would be great.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We did a whole budget thing where we looked through where we were like wasting money. And there's so many places that we waste money. It's unbelievable.
I believe it. I'm like trying to go through any subscriptions that I have, like, you know, where you're like, oh, it's $10 a month. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, all that stuff adds up.
It adds up a shit ton.
It definitely sucks.
Which is another reason to round back to the topic of older lesbian. Not older. They're not older. They're 50 is not old.
No, that's another thing I want to point out is that I feel like everyone
I'm almost
in their
50.
20s and 30s thinks that people that are over 40 is like so old. And actually, I was just taking like a harassment course or whatever for work. And it said that you can be like ageist to people who are 40 plus. I mean, you could really be ageist to anyone, but they specifically said people over 40. And I was like, really? Like,
40 is like nothing.
So young.
40 my 40-year-old friends are having babies.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
I
40.
don't know. I feel like our society is like just formed this opinion of anyone over the age of 40 that they're like elderly.
But it is getting,
You know?
I feel like though 50 is the new 40.
Yeah.
It's
I'd
like,
agree.
I don't think 50 is old at all. I mean, I'm knocking on 50's door right now. I just don't think 40 is definitely not. Like I said, I have friends that are literally getting pregnant at 40. It's not old. You people have babies. They're young moms.
Even my mom, I was talking to my mom yesterday. My mom's about to turn 79. And she was like, that just blows my mind. She's like, I realize like 80 is next. And I don't feel like I'm almost 80.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so true. It's like, what is someone who's almost 80 years old? Like, what do they look like? What do they act
It's
like?
so
Am I-
varied, right? I mean, it's like you
Yeah.
look around. I see my in-laws versus my parents versus other friends' parents. I mean, they're all different. My parents feel very young to me.
Yeah.
They don't seem, my mom is massively active. My dad is a little less because his knees hurt, but he's not falling or anything. He's just complains about knee pain. I
Yeah,
don't
was gonna
know.
say, my
I don't.
parents is more like health wise, but appearance, I would say they look more like they're in their late 60s.
Yeah. And I do think too, like to get for our demographic that's looking, like you said, the 50 set that wants to meet people, I'm on that low app sometimes and I see the people that are on there that are in their 50s. And I don't know, like there's something so cool about people that are already established. Like if I were out there dating, I would be looking for someone a little older than me.
Exactly. And I think if we all sit at home with the mindset that there's no one else out there for me, or if I'm going to date, someone's going to have to like come and knock on my door, basically, like you're not going to find it.
No.
You have to like take action. You have to put yourself out there. Don't get so excited about everybody that you meet that you're going to get married, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's another thing is the rejection thing can be difficult. You immediately go to like your age, that kind of stuff. But just put yourself out there, man. If more people start doing that, you're going to meet.
I agree wholeheartedly. And it's also can be very random. It's like, again, like the dog park, the soccer practice, the real estate, the realtor. Like, I think you meet these people randomly in your life. And to your point, like if all those people were to start showing up and trying to meet each other, there's a whole plethora of established kick-ass women that are out there. And I think some of them are.
Yeah.
But
the farmer's market, like,
Yeah.
anyway, just go and strike up conversations with people more often. I was kicking myself just now. I was also in a hurry, but I'm going to Panama City tomorrow. So
Okay.
I had to run by the liquor store to fit in with the spring breakers.
Okay.
And the woman that was checking me out at the liquor store had buttons, like queer representation buttons. And as I got in the car, I was like, I should have said something about her buttons and been like, those are so cool. I love that. Like, we need more of that in Peachtree City, that kind of thing. And I'm like, God, I could like ask her where she lives, you know, like if she lives down anywhere near here, that's a new friend that I could have in this area.
Yeah, it's true.
And like, that's just it too. You don't have to be asking people this kind of stuff because you're hitting on them.
No.
Like, I wasn't interested in her in like a romantic sense, but she seemed like a cool person. So,
and she has friends and you have friends. And then
exactly.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it's all depends on kind of what state of like where are you at in your life. Like some people I think genuinely aren't looking to add, they're so settled with their friends and their maybe children and there's no room in their life even to go on a date. Yeah. So it's just not interesting to them, but I still think they could show up and just have community of other people maybe, but some people just aren't looking to even add. But if you are, they're out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know?
And this also leads me to plug the event that is happening at Urban Pie in Kirkwood.
Yes, somebody messaged us about that and said they couldn't find any information. Can you fill us in?
I will say that they are not doing the best job of promoting it, but I will do my best.
Okay.
It's at Urban Pie, March 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And the plan is to do speed dating. It might just end up being like a mingle kind of thing, but it's supposed to be for people who are over 40. So,
over 40, March 23rd at Urban Pie in Kirkwood. It's right on Hosea Williams, the main drag through Kirkwood. I might walk there for dinner.
You should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you have to be single, or can can Maria and I come together? I'm sure we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Okay.
I think that would be great, because I think that's just it too. It's like we need couple friends as well.
Yeah. Okay. So is the idea though that you might have speed dating, but even if you don't, it's kind of a mix and mingle, meet people.
Exactly.
Okay. Very, very cool. And does the owner is doing it because she's what? Like, did you reach out?
A friend
like,
of the owner that's organizing it.
Got it.
So I don't know. I kind of got looped into it.
Okay.
With doing speed dating at Second Friday.
Yeah.
I was asked to come
it's kind of
help,
becoming
so.
your thing here in Atlanta.
I know, right?
The speed dating MC.
Just host things. So I got to do stand up at MSR the other day. That was fun.
Was it fun? Let me ask you this. When you do the speed dating, do you ever look like you're doing it and you're thinking, oh my God, I'd go out with her.
I wouldn't say no. I kind of have that like part of my brain like closed off right now.
Okay.
Like, as weird as that sounds, I don't know. I'm just kind of like I'm in my healing era.
Okay.
And so I'm just kind of like not tied to that outcome right now.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. So you're just strictly, objectively trying to set other people up.
Exactly.
And then
I'm focusing my energies on other people right now.
Do you ever rig it? Like maybe you have a friend that's doing it and you're like, I'm going to make sure you meet her.
Oh my God. No, I can, trust me. If you were there, it's such chaos. I literally am just like,
you're holding it together.
I'm herding cats. And also I tell people to take a look around the room, because you're not going to meet everybody in that room. Mm-hmm. There's not enough time. But take a look around the room and figure out who all is participating in this. And if you don't get to meet them now, like try to hit them up afterwards,
right.
And say, hey, sorry, we didn't get to connect, but you seem interesting. So.
What's the deal with the, because I know we both watch Love on the Spectrum, and they had the thing where he's like filling out the yes, no after.
Oh, yeah. I don't do any of that stuff.
Okay. So how do we, like, is there a way that people, I wonder, like we talked about QR codes, or like a way that people could connect without connecting?
Right. I talked to people about doing QR codes so that it was easier way to like just scan QR codes and share Instagram profiles, but not too many people like hopped on board with that.
I think people don't necessarily even know how to do it.
Right.
I don't, but I mean, I know it's easy because I know people at my office do it.
Well, I've got to wrap up because I have to go pick up my children.
Okay, very good. Well, always a pleasure. Great catching up. The Over 50 set. Let's see you guys out there.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Don't forget about www.lesbianchroniclespodcast.com. Please go on there, join a group, write your story, do the thing.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandallie@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Allie, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.